We're going.
Oh boy, we're live. All right, we're gonna sample for soil respiration. Respiration measures the microbial activity. So just like us, microbes breathe in oxygen and breathe out CO2. So the little probes I gave you change color the more CO2 is emitted from the microbes. So the first thing to do is figure out what you want to compare. In this case at Tooley's, we're comparing this bed that's had a little bit more work done to it to an area farther, maybe you want to turn around, down in the orchard that, as you can see, has a little bit less greenery of a cover crop because it's less watered, less amendments. They can tell you more about that. So we're comparing those two general areas. And so we're right now picking about 4 holes to dig so that we can get a really good aggregate sample. So we don't want something like a deer peed right here and so the microbial activity is really different. We want to get an aggregate sample that accurately represents this treatment. So the first thing we do is clear off just the top and dig down so that you can pick your depth. Over there we picked 10 centimeters, so we're going to go to 10 centimeters again. It's marked on here. If you just have a trowel, you could mark it yourself with a Sharpie. You could also go to 15 centimeters if it's easy. The most important thing is to be consistent and to write it down. Can't emphasize enough. Write things down. You will definitely forget later. Okay, so I'm ending up making this face on the opposite side where you are. Maybe swing around here. So what I've done is make a flat face, and you can see that there's roots and everything, but it's flat so that when I dig in here, I'm going to be able to get a sample about the same amount from all these different depths. So let's do one more little dig away here. So I'm going to start about 1 inch back, use my other hand to support it, press in down to 10 centimeters, and use my hand to support it and pull it straight out and into, in this case I have a soil sieve. You could also use a colander. The only thing this is doing is getting the roots out and any big rocks. Small roots and small rocks are okay, but like I said, you can probably use a colander also. So we're gonna wait for the other couple of holes. We're gonna mix all 4 samples. I just did 4 samples together in here to make a nice homogenized mix of soil, and then we'll show you what to do after that. Don't forget to label your jar. Make sure you know which jar is which. Get this out. We got our 4 scoops of soil. For this size jar, the 8 ounce, we need 50 grams of soil. Yes, that's all I need to say about that, because that's what everyone had. So I just use a kitchen scale, nothing fancy. It does go to grams, which is nice. You could look it up on the internet if you don't have one that goes to grams. So I first tare this so that I don't have to add 50 to 188. And then can I get a scooper? So we're gonna just add 50 grams. I like to mix up the soil. Margaret did it in the field when she pushed it through. Make sure you're pushing through the aggregates because different microbes live in different little microsites. So some live on the inside of the harder aggregates and some live on the outside. We want a representation of all of them. So we don't want big roots. We don't want big rocks. Anything that can fit through here, we do want through here without excluding some. Okay, so 50 grams. I'm about to throw soil everywhere, just like before. This soil is like wet to the touch in that it's cool. These guys have irrigation going. We also just threw like a couple of, sorry Leah.
No worries.
You know, a couple liters of water in an area if it just doesn't rain. Okay, I got 50 grams of soil. Did I get too wound up? What was I talking about? 50 grams of soil. Oh, this soil is wet to the touch. It's nice and cool. So it's plenty of water for the microbes to be active. If it's too dry, they won't be very active. But we're going to account for that later. Okay, so you open your packet. Sometimes the little gel piece doesn't stay stuck. So you have to kind of look in here. Okay, so this is the gel piece, the blue, and it actually can stay stuck in there, and so you just pull out a white thing. That's what I learned. So the gel has some chemical compound that will change color in the presence of CO2. The more CO2, the bigger the color change. We don't want this to touch the soil, so I put it in and I sort of lean it back against to be supported by the jar. We gotta seal this really tight. We're putting this outdoors, so it's experiencing ambient temperature. We don't want it to get knocked over. We don't want it to get in direct sun where it's just gonna bake. And then in 24 hours-ish, you're gonna come back and record the color. I sent the color chart, so you're gonna see if it's more blue, more yellow, or in the green in between. Then, don't throw away your soil, you're gonna open that lid, you're gonna set it in a very sunny place, and you're gonna let it completely dry out. Then you're gonna re-weigh the soil. So you'll notice that I had 50 grams in there. So you can either re-weigh the soil and pour it out to measure it, or you can measure the jar plus the soil, then throw the soil out and measure the jar so you know the weight of the soil. Happy to talk through that if that's too much math on a Thursday afternoon. I think that's it.